Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine you're tuning into your favorite cooking competition. Expecting that comforting, familiar routine, but instead...
Instead, you're watching a total collapse of a 20-year British television legacy.
Exactly. The cameras were rolling, the timers were ticking, but behind the scenes, a scandalous kitchen fire was about to completely burn down the old guard and change the MasterChef franchise forever. We're looking at a stack of BBC press releases, independent legal reports from Lewis Silkin, and a massive flood of viewer reactions to unpack exactly what happened.
It really is wild. For nearly 2 decades, John Torode and Gregg Wallace were, the inseparable faces of the franchise, and then abruptly, the aprons are empty.
Right, emptied overnight.
Right.
Because Wallace faced 45 substantiated misconduct allegations.
Yeah, ranging from inappropriate sexual comments to, and I still can't believe this, literally taking his trousers down in front of staff.
I mean, wow, just a complete meltdown. And simultaneously, Turode's contract was not renewed.
Right, because of a Lewis Silkin investigation that upheld an allegation of him using a highly offensive racist term in the workplace back in 2018.
Which, we should point out, Torode vehemently denies, telling the press he has no recollection of the incident. But, the BBC was very clear on their zero-tolerance approach.
Absolutely. When a legal firm substantiates those kinds of claims, the network has to take immediate action. You cannot tolerate racist language or workplace misconduct, period.
So it's like a sudden kitchen explosion ruining a 20-year recipe. When you lose the 2 foundational ingredients of a legacy show overnight, does the whole dish automatically fall apart?
Well, corporately, no. The BBC's zero-tolerance policy means the brand is bigger than the talent. But practically, for the viewer, it was a mess.
Oh, a total mess. Which brings us to the ghosts in the kitchen. Fans tune in to the latest series of Celebrity MasterChef after the news breaks, and there's Torode.
Just right there on screen, judging the food, people were completely baffled.
It's like receiving a pre-recorded voicemail from a ghost. How does a network successfully manage the sheer awkwardness of broadcasting a disgraced mentor?
Honestly, they kind of couldn't. BBC Director General Tim Davie had to explain that these episodes were filmed and delivered months before any of these controversies went public.
Right, so they were already in the can.
Exactly. In a reality competition, you can't just digitally erase the judge who is physically tasting the food and deciding who advances. It would destroy the narrative.
So they just had to air it and take the hit. But that leads us to the big reset and the new masters stepping into the kitchen.
Yeah, Michelin-starred chef Giorgio Locatelli joins Grace Dent on the Celebrity series. And he is proudly embracing his role as the strict bad cop.
Which I love. He was on a podcast talking about how he's focusing strictly on cleanliness and organization. He had this hilarious observation about the celebrity contestants, right?
Oh, yeah. He noticed that sports stars hit their cooking times perfectly because, well, their entire lives run on a clock.
Right. They know how to manage time.
But the entertainers, the actors and singers, they always struggle because they rely on, feeling and creativity.
Which does not work when a souffle needs exactly 12 minutes.
No, not at all.
So Giorgio has the celebrity side handled, but the main series went with an all-female front, Haugh and Grace Dent.
And the fan reactions on Twitter have been brutal, to say the least.
Yeah, viewers calling Anna's expressions daft, begging her not to replicate Gregg's famous surprised face. Do you think fans are actually rejecting the new judges or just grieving the 20-year familiarity of the old ones?
I think it's definitely grief. When a show has been a comforting routine for 2 decades, any change feels jarring. They're missing the psychological anchor of the show, not necessarily critiquing Anna's actual culinary skills.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the bizarre aftermath for those old anchors is just ironic. Like, Wallace is leaving the UK entirely to move to Italy to homeschool his son.
Right, while an actual Italian, Locatelli, takes over his old kitchen. You literally couldn't script that better if you tried.
No, you really couldn't. Meanwhile, Torode is sticking to his ITV weekend show and releasing a new cookbook. The industry just keeps moving.
It always does.
Which leaves you with a final thought to mull over. When a beloved reality show is entirely stripped of the defining personalities that built it, are you still watching the same show or just a brand new concept wearing a borrowed apron?